All right. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. It's January 1st, 2025, which is pretty crazy. And this year, I made a New Year's resolution that I'm going to try to do a video every day for the rest of the year and maybe continue. So I'm going to try to do that. Sometimes it'll be baseball, sometimes it'll be anime, sometimes it'll be the rock I found outside my house. Sometimes it's just going to be random, whatever. Oh, there's a, what are they called? Amber Alert. Or a bomb happening. Let's see, hold on. Yeah, it's an Amber Alert. Somebody did something bad. I don't know. I always feel bad when I see this. I'm like, what? I mean, it's good that they're getting those alerts out. That's really good, and I'd like to help, but I don't know. Random. Usually they say like the car or whatever. Kind of scary. But anyway, yeah, that's a crazy start to the year. But today, this video is amazing already. Today, I wanted to talk about something I've been thinking about for a little bit now. It's baseball related, and that's the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is going on right now. The Hall of Fame voting, I should say right now. And of course, in baseball, the Hall of Fame voting is Baseball Writers of America vote. I just touched the mic. That probably wasn't a good idea. Vote for who to put into the Hall of Fame, of course. So the past couple years, the big one I've been following, so there's been a couple stories, of course. There's been like, are the steroid guys going to get in? I don't think they are. And stuff like that. But the one for me that is the most interesting is Billy Wagner. And Billy Wagner, of course, is one of the best relievers pretty much of all time. And he's still not in. And I think that's a reflection of the lowered value of relievers in our current game right now. But ironically, I actually think relievers are like at the highest value they've ever been in the history of the game, because starters don't go 8 or 9 innings. They only go 5 or 6, and then the rest of those innings are eaten up by relievers. Of course, nowadays they are random name relievers, like they're not the one guy you see every game. Not a lot of teams have like just the designated closer like you saw even just a decade ago, not even that long ago. But I do think it's an interesting thing where relievers are being relied on the most in history. If you look at some graphs and numbers, this is the most bullpen usage ever. But at the same time, we don't value them. They're usually just failed starters, and then they're kind of quad A guys that go like up, down, and then DFA'd. And then that's kind of turned into us sort of reevaluating the value of closes and stuff for like Hall of Fame cases, So of course, right now, Billy Wagner, he played a long time, or like a pretty long time ago. Like this is before any of this sort of reliever revolution, But he was a great, reliever. But we're sort of hesitant, I guess, because there's this sort of ironic thing of us going like, are relievers even valuable? But also they are the most valuable they've ever been. So it's this weird thing. I think he's going to get in. I should have said that at the beginning. He's going to get in this year. He's at 89% because typically like the ballots come in, the public ballots come in, and then people track that, He's at 89%. I think he's going to get in. You need to be at 75% to get in. But it sort of brings up the question I have of some of these other guys that are playing right now that aren't retired. So the two guys in my mind are Kenley Jansen and Craig Kimbrel. I think those are the two biggest name closers that sort of got in right at the end, right before this sort of, I'm just coining it like the reliever revolution, kind of around 2017, 2016, when you saw a lot more guys be used from the bullpen and stuff like that. A lot less strict roles of he's the closer, he's only coming in the 9th inning, where you got more fluid guys like the Andrew Miller, which I want him to be in the Hall of Fame. He's not going to be in the Hall of Fame, but he should be in the Hall of Influential, And he kind of was a la Mike Trout. Obviously he's not to the level of Mike Trout, but Mike Trout was the representation of the new age of WAR. Like as that being one of the biggest stats that's important to baseball. Andrew Miller is a great example of the reliever revolution of like one of the best pitchers on the team, maybe arguably the best pitcher on the team on that Cleveland Indians team in 2016 and 2017, and in a couple of years, after 2016, being used in every single role. He was just used when at the highest leverage situations, and I think that kind of evolved into, hey, we don't really need a set closer anymore. We just need outs. We just need 27 outs, however we get there, So all that to say, Craig Kimbrel and Kenley Jansen are two of the last like closer guys, at least at their prime. Obviously Craig Kimbrel's kind of fallen off a little bit. He gets different roles. I don't even think he's on a team right now. He was on the Orioles last year. Also, side note, he had one of the greatest Twitter posts ever of him announcing that he's an Oriole. It had to be done by him or his kid or something. I just hit the mic again. Hopefully that didn't do anything crazy, but it had to be him or his kid on Photoshop. Just did like, I'm going to try to post it in the video or something. Maybe it'll be the thumbnail or something. It's just his face, stock, Times New Roman Oriole, edited hat of the Oriole. It was really funny. But I love Craig Kimbrel because he was on the Cubs for a little bit, and he actually started to turn it around. Kind of looked like, oh, he's fallen off. Cubs found something. The Cubs pitching staff, tried to fix him. They kind of did. They kind of fixed him, and of course they flipped him over to the South Side. That's a trade that'd be interesting to look at. Again, maybe that'll be another video. I have 300-ish videos to do this year, so maybe we can look at the Craig Kimbrel trade later. But anyway, so I want Craig Kimbrel to make the Hall of Fame. That's my take. I'm more of a, I guess what you call like a what do they call it? Like a large Hall of Fame guy, like a large hall or whatever. I know there's people that are like small hall, where it's like they just want the guys that are the best, But we're like 100 years in already, and there's some guys that probably shouldn't be in there that are. It's like, right, just put them in, Especially if you're like important to a specific team or you're influential to like a certain part of history or something. Like that's almost why I wish we'd get a section like for Andrew Miller where it's like this guy was very indicative of like the future, But anyway, but Craig Kimbrel and Kenley Jansen, what's gonna happen with them when they retire? And then I believe it's 5 years later after you retire, you get on the ballot. So like for me, I think they're both 100% Hall of Famers. I think they are both influential to the game. They're some of the best, relievers of our era, of the I guess you could say the past era, because it's not. I don't think that same era exists anymore. But if Billy Wagner, they're definitely not better than Billy Wagner, probably. Definitely they aren't. But like, if Billy Wagner takes 9-10 years, Kenley Jansen's not going to get in, and Craig Kimbrel isn't going to get in, right? Kenley I could see getting in because he played for the Dodgers and Red Sox. Obviously, Craig Kimbrel played for the Braves, but he jumped around a lot more than Kenley. Kenley was just a Dodger, and then he jumped around a little bit at the late stages of his career. I think he's another guy. I don't know if he's on a team, but it's just interesting. It's interesting to me. It also is sort of just like, if you're going to put him in, like, if you're going to put Billy Wagner in at some point, just put him in now. Like, I mean this like 3 years ago, and like this whole discussion, and I was like tuning into that discussion, There's like, what, like, does it matter if they're first ballot or whatever? The only time it's going to matter when it's first ballot is when Greinke gets in. Greinke better be a first ballot Hall of Famer, or we're going to have issues, That's almost why I'm glad that he's like, I guess he hasn't officially retired, but he's, not playing before Kershaw retires, and the other two, Verlander, Max Scherzer, and Kershaw, because I think people are going to kind of compare all those four. But I think if it's just Greinke on the ballot, I could see him getting in on the first ballot. He should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But anyway, he's actually going to be when he gets in, because he's going to get in. But I hope it's first ballot. When he gets in, I think he's going to be the second Royal like ever, because George Brett is, or with the cap on, I should say, with the cap on, not ever. Obviously, like, people played for the Royals, but he'll be the second one with the cap on, unless someone else gets in. Because I know this 2015 squad is going on right now. Like Ben Zobrist is on the ballot right now. He's not going to get in. He's probably not even going to make it to the next year. Because if you don't get a certain amount of votes, you just aren't on the ballot next year. So I don't even think he's going to get to the next year. But he'd be a fun guy. Hopefully, he gets a vote. I remember watching Cubs game, and JD was talking about how like he just wanted a vote. He just wanted a vote, and I'm sure like if you played and you were like Hall of Very Good or Hall of Interesting, like Ben Zobrist is interesting, that you just want a vote, So hopefully that happens. Billy Wagner is going to get in. That'll be exciting. I'm happy. Hopefully they'll start to kind of shift the narrative of relievers because, like, not that I can think of like a super impactful reliever, right? Maybe like a Josh Hader that's like all from this new era. But like, it's hard to argue that he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. His career's not even over, but just stuff like that where it's like, is he just already out of the running because he's a reliever now, even if he's, very influential and stuff? But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just was thinking about that for a little bit and wanted to talk about it. So yeah, that's the first video of the year. I'm going to try to do one every day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Kind of went on a ramble, but that's what I do. Hopefully the mic was okay too. Earlier, before I started this video, I was messing with the mic. I called my friend. I was like, my mic's not working, Or it wasn't working. It was like going down gradually, the volume. But I think it's good. I'm looking at the volume levels right now, and it looks okay. So, yeah, that'll be it. If you guys have any suggestions of what I should talk about, let me know in the comments because that'd be fun. This, of course, is on my Julian Talks channel where I talk about baseball, but also I think I'm just going to kind of turn this into talk about a lot of stuff. Whatever. I kind of feel like talking about that day because I have to do 300 plus videos this year. But my main channel, Prussia J, I'm kind of turning that into like an anime channel where I'm going to be doing like reviews and stuff. So if you're interested in that, check that out. That'll probably be a topic that comes up later. But yeah, I think tomorrow I'm going to talk about the Cubs and just sort of what I'm feeling about them right now, like almost halfway through the offseason. Made a couple moves, but kind of not enough moves. And then maybe the next day, or maybe we'll kind of tie that into as well, Roki Sasaki, because I have a lot to say about him. But hopefully you guys had a great year last year, and hopefully this year's great as well. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. I'm trying to hit the...